Welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because we are diving straight into a massive, game-changing topic, India's micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. We're going to break down the incredible impact these businesses have, exactly how they're classified, the serious benefits they unlock, and most importantly, the brand new 2026 legislative changes that are totally reshaping the landscape. Whether you're building a business right now or you just want to understand the engine powering one of the world's fastest growing economies, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First up, we'll look at the backbone of India's economy. Second, what actually is an MSME? Third, the key benefits and schemes. And finally, number 4, the 2026 Amendment Bill. Section 1, Backbone of India's Economy. Before we get into the nitty-gritty policy updates, we really need to take a step back and understand the sheer massive scale of this sector. So what do a local weaver keeping traditional crafts alive, a hyper-growth tech startup in the city, and a massive global vaccine maker all have in common? On paper, absolutely nothing. But in reality, despite their huge differences, they all form the very foundation of India's micro, small, and medium enterprises ecosystem. And this brilliantly illustrates what that means on a macro level. Get this sector alone accounts for 31.1% of India's entire GDP. It drives 35.4% of the country's manufacturing output. And the human impact? MSMEs employ a staggering 38.9 crore people. That actually makes them the second largest employer in the entire country, right behind agriculture. So for millions of people, this isn't just a piece of the economy. It literally is the economy. And that footprint doesn't stop at the border. Look at this number, 48.58%. Nearly half of all Indian exports come directly from MSMEs. It's incredible. It proves these enterprises aren't just local players, they're an absolute global force. Section 2. What is an MSME? With all that scale in mind, you're probably wondering, how does a business actually qualify for this label? Where's the line drawn? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the dual criteria for the April 2025 revision. It's not just about your investment and, it's not just about your turnover. It's both. For a micro enterprise, your investment caps at 2.5 crore rupees with a turnover up to 10 crore rupees. Stepping up to a small enterprise, that limit jumps to 25 crore for investment and 100 crore for turnover. And for a medium enterprise, you're looking at up to 125 crore in investment and a 500 crore ceiling on turnover. You have to meet both conditions, which honestly gives businesses a ton of room to scale up without losing their MSME status. And let's ground those numbers for a second because micro can absolutely become massive. Take Mindtree. They started with just 10 IT pros and blew up into a global giant. Look at Mufti. They kicked off with a tiny 10,000 rupee loan and hit a 500 crore turnover. Or the Serum Institute, an MSME that evolved into a global vaccine leader. These are real-world examples proving that starting small definitely doesn't mean staying small. Section 3, Key Benefits and Schemes. So how does the government actually step in to help an entrepreneur achieve that kind of crazy growth? Let's look at the financial lifelines. If you're running a business, you already know that getting your hands on capital is usually the biggest roadblock. Well, the Union Budget 2026-27 is rolling out some massive structural fixes for that. They've introduced a 10,000 crore rupee SME growth fund. Plus, they're pumping an extra 2,000 crore rupees into the Self-Reliant India, or SRI, fund. Basically, this is serious equity support. It's risk capital designed to help businesses smash through those funding walls and scale up. But what about your standard loans? Okay, there is a massive misconception we need to clear up right now. As a regular person, you want a high CIBIL score, right? Usually between 300 and 900. But MSMEs, they don't get a standard score. They get a CIBIL MSME rank, or CMR. It's a scale from 1 to 10 for loans up to 50 crores. And here, lower is actually better. A rank of 1 is the absolute best you can possibly get. And the best part is, you can check this rank without it penalizing your score. You really want to keep an eye on this number because having a strong rank unlocks 3 huge advantages. You can secure credit way more easily, negotiate much better loan terms, and get those approvals through the bank significantly faster. Section 4, the 2026 Amendment Bill. All right, this brings us to the final and honestly, the most game-changing part of this explainer. Let's see how the rules are actually modernizing. So the crucial point here is how this new bill completely flips the script on compliance. The old way, mandatory filing, and very strict fixed thresholds. The new way? Registration is completely voluntary, using a digital platform. Even better, they've scrapped the fixed thresholds from the act itself. Now, the government can dynamically adjust investment and turnover limits whenever needed via notification. It's just a way more agile, flexible system. Another classic nightmare for MSMEs? Delayed payments. To fix this, the 2026 bill makes the Trade Receivables Discounting System, or TREDS, mandatory for all central public sector enterprises. TREDS is basically an RBI-regulated platform where MSMEs can raise funds against their unpaid invoices. By forcing CPSCs onto this platform, the government is ensuring that cash actually keeps flowing to the suppliers who need it most. And if a payment dispute still happens, they've introduced a super aggressive new timeline. Day 1, mediation starts. By day 90, it has to be completed. If that fails, day 120 is the absolute deadline to refer it to arbitration. And by day 210, the arbitration award must be made. Oh, and here's a massive win. If a case gets stuck in court for over 6 months, they actually have to pay out 50% of the awarded amount directly to the supplier while they wait. No more starving out the little guy. Let's move to compliance and see how this builds a much friendlier environment. Under the old act, messing up your reporting, like failing to report unpaid dues, could actually lead to a criminal conviction. That's terrifying. But the 2026 bill totally decriminalizes this. Now, you get a simple warning for a first offense. If it happens again, it's just structured financial penalties ranging from 1,000 to 1 lakh rupees. It completely removes the threat of jail time for administrative errors and just focuses on getting people compliant. Wow, okay, we've covered a ton of ground today. We went from the massive macroeconomic impact of this sector to the specific definitions, the funding schemes, and finally those huge 2026 policy changes. We're looking at a brand new era of easier compliance, massive equity funding, and lightning-fast dispute resolutions. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. With all these new tools on the table, how will you leverage this golden era of MSME policy to build the next big success story? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building.